Hi, I just wanted to share with you this small article from Jay Arthur, the creator of QI macros. It just came out this December 2015. It's part of a newsletter that Jay Arthur sends out, and it's a really good demonstration of the differences of analysis. These are some of his books. We're not affiliated in any way, but this is part of the newsletter where he tells a little bit more on how he interprets Lean Six Sigma. But the main story is in the newsletter that trend lines can lie. Now, J. Arthur is the creator of QI macros, and he uses one of the main tools in Six Sigma are control charts. And the main point he's making, I think, is that if you use a normal run chart and let Excel estimate a trend line, it's not giving the correct picture of the situation. In this example, he shows the data from patient falls in a hospital. And they argue in the article that they achieved a 9.9% reduction in patient falls, as you can see on the trend line. So what they are really saying is that it's a permanent fix. The improvement is permanent. It's stable. And if he takes the same data and put it in a control chart where you have the upper control limit and lower control limit, it shows that the change is not permanent. What he argues is the trend line suggests a trend, but does one exist? And the main point is that if these data points are within upper and lower control limit, and there's not a significant permanent reduction, or for example, fewer patient falls over a longer period of time, the improvement is not stable. So this was the data using a normal run chart with a trend line, and this is the data using a control chart, an XMR control chart. As you can see, the improvement is not that significant if there is any permanent improvement. And what the argument is, and this is new data, is use the right tools to get the right picture. And this is another case he was apparently involved in, where you can see a process change around October-November 05. And this is where QI macros helps us, because the red dots tells us that there's something strange we have to look at. And the strange thing is there's a big improvement in the process. This is also how many falls there's been for patients. And as you can see, there's a much larger variation and a higher average. So the average here was 5.8, and here it's 5.65. And you can see actually in this method, you can see the two control charts being compared. It's much more stable. There's a less variation in the falls, and a lower average of actually 4.27. I'm sorry, not 5.65, but 4.27. So that's the difference, 5.8 to 4.27. And that's his main point. Use the right technology, use the right tools to get the right data. Using control charts, they give us a lot of information we can use and get the right data. So if you see Excel being used without, it doesn't have to be QI macros. You can use Minitab or Job or anything, but put it in a control chart, look at it over a significant period of time, and look at the development over time. Is the variation smaller, as you can see here? Has there been some kind of change? Is the average smaller if we are wanting a smaller average? And then we get the right knowledge and can see a real improvement. Thank you for listening.